Hey, Bucs fans. How about that? How about that? Holy cow. Was that good enough for you? Was that, all the buildup, all the pressure, all the excitement, all the everything? How about that? Good enough for you? Were you excited? How you feeling now? We've got a lot to break down, a lot to talk about. There's good things. There's bad things. You will certainly hear me talk about some of both. I've got a lot that I'm ready to gripe about tonight. I'm a little grumpy, but we got the win, so I'm not that grumpy. Let's talk about it. We'll get into all of it. My name is Rick Hughes. We are here on Bucs Report and Sports Talk Florida. I'm here with my co-host for the evening, Mr. David White-Scarver. How you doing, Dave?
I'm doing great, but what is it about these late night games? They've come down to the wire twice now. So It's like I'm trying to get the beats per minute coming down here.
We are, at least we're starting about a half an hour earlier than last time. That part's good.
Well, a thunk never sounded so good.
Yeah. And boy, is that the story. Wow. There's so much to cover, so much to talk about. I don't even know where to begin, but there's plenty of things to cover. Dave, how about you take us through the first quarter?
Well, the Bucs kicked to the Pats. It was a rainy night in Foxborough for, I'd say, about 80% of the game. It did lighten up some in the second half. The Pats went right after Richard Sherman on their first two plays, which were completions. With 9:31 left in the quarter, Jacoby Myers caught a ball and fumbled that was ruled recovered by Devin White of the Bucs at New England 23. Unfortunately, upon review, the call was reversed and ruled incomplete. Where is Nikita Kucherov of the Lightning when you need him? Tom Brady broke the all-time passing record with 5:20 left in the quarter on a 28-yard pass completion to Mike Evans down to the New England 14. Brady passed Drew Brees' 8,358 yards, or the equivalent of 45.66 miles. With 4:49 left in the quarter, Ryan Succop kicked a 29-yard field goal to give the Bucs a 3-0 lead. Antoine Winfield intercepted a deep middle tip pass intended for Nelson Aguilar at the Buc 34 with 3:39 left in the quarter. The quarter ended with the Bucs driving at the New England 21. The key was the Bucs ran the ball. Fournette had 41 yards rushing in the first quarter and added a reception for 13 yards. Mike Evans had 5 receptions for 55 yards on 8 targets in the fourth quarter. And Antonio Brown, who wasn't getting a lot of airplay for this being a revenge game for him, had 3 receptions for 36 yards on 3 targets. Bucs dominated the quarter, 148 total yards to 2, though had little to show for their dominance on the scoreboard. The end of the first quarter score was Tampa Bay Buccaneers 3, New England Patriots 0.
The second quarter opened with a missed 36-yard field goal attempt by Ryan Succop. The Patriots made adjustments and picked on Richard Sherman relentlessly in the second quarter. Brady and the Bucs had a great 2-minute drive for a second field goal of 44 yards. Carlton Davis III he injured his quad on a punt. We're going to talk about that in a little while. When they went to the half, it was 7-6. Dave?
In the third quarter, the rain kept coming down in Foxborough. With 14:12 left in the quarter, a completion to Antonio Brown for 48 yards to the deep right part of the field was brought back for a Donovan Smith illegal use of hands penalty. With 11:11 left in the quarter, a short screen completion to running back J.J. Taylor was fumbled and recovered by, wait for it, recent signee Richard Sherman on the Tampa 32. Fumble was caused by Antoine Winfield. With 8:25 left in the quarter, Joe Tryon-Shoyinka unimpeded sacked Mac Jones at the New England 12 for a 9-yard loss. Leonard Fournette's show as the Bucs kept running effectively. With 3:29 left in the quarter, Tampa scored their first touchdown with a first and goal 8-yard run by Ronald Jones. Ryan Suckup added the extra point to make the score, Tampa Bay 13 and New England 7. Through 3 quarters, Leonard Fournette had 14 rushes for 77 yards, and Ronald Jones had 4 rushes for 20 yards and a TD. Brady was 17 for 32 for 202 yards, no TDs or interceptions, and a 72.7 quarterback rating. Of note, only 1 completion to a Bucs tight end for 11 yards on 6 targets as we came to the end of the third quarter. The quarter ends with New England on the Buc 1, and your end of third quarter score, Tampa Bay 13 and New England 7.
The quarter opened with a New England touchdown, short, I believe it, like a 2-yard play. They took a 14-13 lead, and then the Bucs decided to run, and run
And
it
run
was
some
the
more.
Leonard Fournette show. Absolutely the Leonard Fournette show. Almost nothing but the Leonard Fournette show. Look, guys, you watched what just took place. We're going to talk about it. We're going to get into it. There's so much to go over. Guys, going into this game, the story was Tom Brady going into New England and Buccaneer injuries. Injuries were not the story. Let me be clear about that. Injuries were not the story. The Buccaneers defense rose to the occasion. The Buccaneers defense played well. The Buccaneers defense, I have nothing but good things to say about them. And while they picked on Richard Sherman relentlessly, all I can say is, holy cow, very good signing. The second half, they didn't do much against Richard Sherman at all because I think they realized, dude's catching on. So everything sort of scaled back and they stopped attacking Richard Sherman. Guys, Richard Sherman played as good as you could dream of given the situation. Having said that, okay, the injuries were not the story of the day. The defense rose to the occasion and played well. The story of the day for me, the thing I want to talk about, and you guys know I try to stay positive even when the team loses. But to be honest with you, guys, I'm a little bit pissed. There is no excuse for this offense struggling like it has. Gronk is basically the only guy out. That's it. Gronk is the only guy. I mean, Giovanni Bernard, but he didn't play that often anyway. There's no excuse for why this offense, week after week now, is struggling. There's just not any excuse. Something's got to change, guys. Something has to start to work with this offense. Now, look, they got the running game going. That part's good. I'm happy about the fact that they got the running game going. It's very, very important. Leonard Fournette had a heck of a game. I want to say this. Can we stop debating whether Fournette or Ronald Jones should be the running back? Can we just stop that discussion? Can we not go there anymore? Can we just say, okay, it should be Fournette? Let Fournette do the running. Let Fournette have the job. It's time for regular season Lenny. Okay? Let's call that competition over. Let's call it a day. It's Fournette's job. Now, where do we go from here? I think the Buccaneers have I don't know. I'm happy that the running game showed up. I'm happy that the defense played well. I'm happy that they won. But the offense, especially the passing game, should not look like this. It should not look like this. I mean, I get it. There's no Rob Gronkowski. Okay, that's going to affect you in the red zone. But Cam Brate was always great in the red zone. Mike Evans was always great in the red zone. All right. I mean, come on. This team, this offense has to play better. Period. No more discussing it, arguing about it. No more, nothing. We've got to stop. Okay. Just stop the arguing. Stop talking about it. it doesn't need. We just don't need to go there anymore. All right, guys, we got the win. We should be happy about the win. I am happy about the win. Don't want to sound like I'm a bummer about all of this, but it never should have been this kind of game. All right, it never should have been this kind of game.
148 yards in the first quarter, and you only put up 3 points. That's inexcusable.
Dave, what's their rushing yard total?
It was negative for a while.
Yeah. What ended up being their rushing total? I got to hear this.
New England rushing total was -1 yards. The leading rusher was Nelson Aguilar.
For 6, I believe.
I'm sorry?
I believe Tom Brady rushed for 6 yards.
He rushed for 3. Along with 6, but he lost some yards. So he had
on the kneel downs and all that.
But he outgained New England.
Okay. So, I mean, guys, there's no reason this game should have been as close as it was. All right. If the defense can't get home to the quarterback and have any kind of impact on the quarterback, that's a problem. All right. Let's stop with the games. Let's stop talking about it otherwise. What happened to this team? We were very good at getting to the quarterback last year and even the year before. We can't seem to get to the quarterback this year. I want to talk about that. I want to hear about it. Okay. No, right now, Tim, we do not have any word on Winfield Jr.'s concussion. We will see if we can get any info on that. But, as concussions go, hopefully he'll be back in a week or two. It's just one more injury on defense. Carlton Davis goes down on a freaking punt. On a punt.
I feel like we should have Taylor Twelman soundbite saying, "What are we doing? What are you doing with a cornerback where you are
your
so
best
thin?
Cornerback.
What's he out there for?"
Yeah, your best cornerback out there on the field on a punt in the rain.
What could possibly go wrong?
Right. This sounds like a great plan. This sounds like a phenomenal plan. I'm at a loss for words. I don't even know what to say. I don't even know what to say. It's insane. It really is insane. But on a positive note, the Bucs did win. Tom Brady's won more games in Foxborough this year than the Patriots have once again. It's.
Well, I think there needs to be some credit given to the Patriots. The $164 million of guaranteed free agent money is starting to come together. They played much better. I mean, the matchup, who was it? I made a note of J.C. Jackson on Evans. He did a phenomenal job, I thought. Defense for the Patriots, they played much better than I thought. They're not good on the run, but overall, I thought they played well. Tampa should have played much better and had many more points than what they did. Nevertheless, you do have to give some credit to New England, and their free agents are starting to gel.
Yeah, and I mean, those are real men on the other side who are ready to punch you in the face. I get it, and they're going to play the game of their life against you. They're going to focus. That's all part of being the champ. But this is 2 weeks in a row, guys, that the offense just has really looked out of sync. And again, this is the same offense, guys. How can you be out of sync when you had all last year to get in sync? You had preseason this year to get in sync. You had, there's no okay reason for this. Period. End. There is no okay reason for this. This team's got the offense has to figure it out. I don't even know why they're trying to figure something out. It should be figured out. Leonard Fournette was the man tonight. He showed up. Leonard Fournette showed up. Now, look, rain is a great equalizer. All right? I get it. Rain is a great equalizer, but come on.
It's not like Brady hasn't played in the rain in Foxborough before.
Right. I mean, do they need to stop practicing in the Advent Health Facility every time it looks like rain and get out there and actually play? I was laughing because I think it was Chris Collinsworth, who hates the Bucs anyway. Chris Collinsworth, I think it was saying, well, the Patriots are used to playing out in the rain. Tampa isn't used to playing in rain. They're in Florida. How are you not used to playing in the rain in Florida when it rains every day? There's no excuse for it. There's no reason for it. Now
especially in training camp.
I am complaining. I am bitching. I am whining. I am moaning. Let me clarify this. The Bucs are 3-1. Woohoo! Okay, we had a good day. We won. Hooray! The good guys won. I'm happy about that. Very much so. So I'm not trying to be a complete downer. Okay, there are great things to say. Leonard Fournette had a great game. Ryan Suckup, despite one miss, had a great game. But there are things that concern me. And Dave, I want us to kind of skip ahead on something that we normally do a little bit later, but I want to do it now. I want to go over surprises and disappointments. All right. Who surprised us and who disappointed us. Now, I will say the surprises for me, it was the running game and the coaching deciding to utilize it. And I get it. It's raining. I get it. And Brady looked off at the beginning of the game. Maybe it was the weather. I don't know. I really think that dude knows how to play in the rain. Okay. I get it. But there's got to, you've got to be able to play better than that. This offense, there's no excuse that this offense with these horses, we're not playing better. And by the way, I heard and saw a lot of criticism of Donovan Smith today online. And I want everybody to chill out about that. Donovan Smith was matched up against a phenomenal defensive player. And yeah, you saw the other defensive player have some great plays, but Donovan Smith did not have a bad game. All right. If Donovan Smith had that bad of a game, Leonard Fournette would not have had that good of a game. All right. Tom Brady, he missed some passes that were open. Some wide receivers dropped the ball. They looked like they were not ready. That's coaching. Now, I know Johnny Dean loves the coaching staff. I love the coaching staff. All right. I'm with Johnny on that. Dave, I believe you love this coaching staff. But, guys,
I think for 2 weeks in a row, they've been out-coached.
Yeah.
You kind of poo-pooed me a bit when I said that the Rams made adjustments and that they didn't have the defense didn't have the horses. But I think now 2 weeks in a row, the Bucs have been out-coached. I'm not saying that's going to continue, but I think that's what happened.
I don't disagree. And they won anyway just because they do happen to have the talent. And now, were there some calls that were questionable? Let's get this out of the way because the two things, I think we need like a regular segment somehow on this, some sort of a name for this. When people always complain about the people who are the announcers that are calling the game and the referees. Those are the things we always hear about. And here I'm about to go because it always drives me nuts when people say that. But Chris Collinsworth hates the Bucs. Chris Collinsworth has always hated the Bucs. He's the only person I will say that about. He hates the Bucs. Okay, I don't know what the deal is. I don't know why he's pissed. I know they passed him up in the draft. I don't know if it goes back to that, but I can tell you since day one that I've listened to him, he's always hard on the Bucs, just constantly. And the other thing I want to say about tonight is there were some plays that left me scratching my head that the referees called. And I never bitch about this. And in general, I think it was a perfectly normal, well-refed game. But there were a couple of plays that I think were a pretty big deal. Number one, they took a fumble away from the Buccaneers. That was clearly a fumble. Now, you can get technical and you can read the letter, you can find ways to interpret and whatever. But the guy caught the ball. It was punched out. End of story.
He made a football move. It was punched out. He was in control. That was a bad call.
Correct.
And they reviewed it, which makes it even worse.
And then right at the end of the game, a play that was called a reception for New England when their receiver was out of bounds. Those are two bad plays that were pretty much a big deal. There were also a couple of other minor plays, but there are always minor plays. And really, honestly, it could kind of go either way on those things. So I'm not going to complain too much about that. But guys, this was huge. This really was huge. This game, the fact that the Buccaneers come out with a win, and I said this to you guys before, and I'll stand by this, and I believe this, and everybody wrap your mind around this. Good teams find ways to win games like this. Bad teams find ways to lose. It's what you just saw play out right in front of you. We all witnessed it. We all watched it. It's what happened. There's not two ways to look at this. There's not two angles to look at this. The good team won the game. The team that still has to get to be good did not win the game. Now, I want to talk about Mac Jones. Now, for all of the Mac Jones is phenomenal. Look at how great Mac Jones is. I thought Chris Collinsworth acted like he was watching porn when he was watching Mac Jones play. I mean, he was just gushing. Oh, Mac Jones.
He did complete Jones. 19 in a row.
I was ready for groaning. What's that?
He completed 19 in a row. He already matched Tom Brady's record at New England of 19 straight completions.
Phenomenal. Good for him. That's awesome. They lost. Tom Brady didn't do that much. But I want to say from Mac Jones, it's like Jameis Winston, who throws 5 touchdown passes and 110 yards in a game. Okay. I mean, it doesn't, you can sit there and say, oh, you threw for 5 touchdowns. Well, yeah, he basically threw the ball behind the line or little quick passes, little short, little things. Look, guys, the Buccaneers, I believe, had something about their game exposed in a game earlier this year. There was a game earlier this year when the Bucs looked like, the Dallas Cowboys showed the game plan on how to beat the Buccaneers. And now teams are sort of following suit. All right. Lester Smoothkiss says Al Bundy threw for 5 TDs too. Yes. Okay. Look, and I agree with what Lester is saying there. It's like big deal. Okay. So Mac Jones, great. You threw for 19 consecutive completions. That ties Tom Brady's record. Great. Put that feather in your hat with that loss. Okay. So for everybody talking about, the Bucs with rookie quarterbacks and this and that, let me tell you something. The problem, there were 2 things that played into this. The major one was the rain. The second one was come hell or high water. This team was hell bent on running the football today. When you decide, okay, we need to work on the run game, and then that's almost all you do. Well, we got to start this game earlier. This post-game show earlier tonight. And on top of that, not only did the game end, but we got some rushing yards and we did a good job on that. And this will pay dividends later. Okay, this will pay dividends later. But we snuck out with a win. All right, we snuck out with a win. I'm waiting for... we will hear shortly. I believe Bruce Arians has completed his press conference, and we should be getting a phone call here shortly with information on that press conference. But I can tell you this: I'm interested in hearing what he has to say, what he had to say about this game, because to me, I don't know. I expect better from this team. I expect better. And he might walk out and say all the right things like, we won, that's all that really matters. Ultimately, yes, that's all that matters.
Well, my surprise of the game tonight, and
remember, hold on your surprises. Hold on. I didn't get, I was going to get started on that, but I believe we're going to have a phone call here in just a quick sec. So I'm sorry to stop that. to stop you. I didn't get into. I mentioned the running game. There were other surprises. There were there were some things that, let's just say, I didn't see coming tonight. And were there disappointments? Of course there were. Of course there were. In a game like this, when you barely win in New England, a team you should be beating the crap out of, and the Buccaneers should be looking a lot better. But we're going to talk about that. Guys, I don't want to sound too down, and I know so far I do sound down, but I'm a little bit pissed off. And I'm sorry if you're hearing that in my voice. I'm disappointed in this team. It's amazing to be a Buccaneers fan, to be a Bucs fan, and be disappointed when you're 3-1 is funny. Times have changed. But I believe that there was a serious. Look, Dave, you wrapped it up perfectly. 2 weeks in a row, this team's been out coached. The season started last year like that. That tells me there's plenty of time to get this straightened out, but you better get you better get it straightened out. You better do that.
With a veteran team, you don't expect to be saying things like that after
Right.
week 4.
Right.
Maybe week 1, but not after week 4. I mean, there's starting to be bad habits, let's put it that way, that the team's falling into.
Correct. But I'm look. I will say surprises. I will say I was surprised Richard Sherman played as much as he did.
He actually led the team in solo tackles with 7 and had a fumble
Richard
recovery.
Sherman led the team in tackles.
He had 7.
Wow.
Devontae David had 5 solo tackle for loss.
Here we go.
And a deflection. But
okay, hey, how you doing, Keith?
Hey guys, are we having fun yet?
Yes, sir. Welcome. We need this info, brother. We need the info. We need what in the world did Bruce Arians say
on his 69th birthday?
He started with that Leonard Fournette played his ass off tonight, and Leonard Fournette did have roughly 130 some odd yards of offense, I believe. So he was praising Leonard Fournette. He said Tom Brady played very careful, refusing to make a killer mistake, but came through in the end.
Yeah,
how about that?
That's a good. That's a good. I would call that a good.
That's kinder than I would be, but.
Antoine Winfield Jr. is officially in concussion protocol.
Right.
So you know that, right?
Yep.
We're waiting for the Antonio Brown stuff to post because they brought him in, but some of the tidbits that we've got from it so far are this will kind of make you think for a second. His time in New England was the best time of his life. That's Antonio Brown quote. I believe he was there for a game. So there's that. I know. You want to take that for a minute? Because
I think that was probably just, when you're taking a second to relax, but your mouth is still moving. I think that's what that was.
Yeah, he's a shoot first and
or your
game later
or anything like that. Not the Super Bowl. That preseason game.
Yeah.
I got a couple fun facts. I just wanted to give you what I had so far, but here's a fun fact. Tom Brady has now won more games in Foxborough this year than the Patriots.
I just said that. I agree. Yeah.
Damn it, I was on hold. All right.
But it's a great point, Keith. It's a great point.
What's the fun stat of the day?
The Buccaneers defense held New England to negative 1 yard rushing allowed, setting a new single game franchise record.
Nice. And Tom Brady rushed for 3 yards. So he rushed for more than the New England Patriots did. By the way, that's 2 weeks in a row that's happened.
That nimble Tom Brady,
our mobile quarterback. The happiest he looked all night was when he ran for the first down.
I don't think we could. I don't think that game went the way anybody thought it would, except for maybe Patriot fans.
Well, we didn't know it was going to rain like that either.
Well, that was a monsoon. Okay, that's Yeah, I don't know if we can blame that on the refs.
No, I don't think so.
But I wanted to check in again. Great job as always. Appreciate you guys. I'm gonna go back and get the rest of the stuff from the press conference. I wanted to get the Antoine Winfield Jr. stuff in here.
Yeah.
Right.
And of course, that Brady played very careful. I don't know if that was criticism or just a fairly accurate diagnosis.
Observation. Yeah. I don't know. That's interesting. All right.
But
Thanks.
I'll be back.
All right. Thanks.
Thanks, Keith.
Awesome. Johnny Dean brought up something that I agree, and I said I was very, very happy with the defense. That the defense, I think, played very, very well and he brought up 4 sacks, 1 interception, 1 fumble recovery, 1 forced fumble by the Bucs defense with all 3 starting cornerbacks out. Yeah, Johnny, I did say that. I did say that. But I did say quite clearly, Johnny, this offense should be playing better than it is. They look out of sync, and they shouldn't. I'm glad the running game got started. I'm glad that we got a running game. That was a critical thing that this team needed to do. I'm glad that happened. I really do hope we can stop the debate between is it Fournette or is it Ronald Jones? Can we please just go with regular season Lenny? Please. Let's stop the let's just stop the talk about is it Jones or is it Fournette? Let's go with the hot hand. The hot hand is Leonard Fournette, period. Let's just stop it. Okay? Stop it. Ronald Jones is an okay back. He's a good when you have to bring somebody in because your running back's tired, he's good to have on your roster. Okay? But come on. Come on. Yeah, and Lester Smoothkiss said, other than 2 drives, the defense played well. And yeah, I think that's absolutely correct. Now you can throw a lot of completions in a row, but they weren't getting anywhere, and the Bucs defense time after time rose to the occasion. So, guys, this defense, Bruce Arians this week said that they looked like they turned a corner. Great. It's time for the offense to do it now, huh? What do y'all say about that? Y'all agree about that?
Go try on Shoyinka. I think he disappeared last week. This week he had 2 sacks, 2 tackles for loss, 3 quarterback hits. He played fantastic, and I thought he was a difference maker tonight.
Yeah, so did I. And Philip Schwegler, to his credit, prior to the game, said that he was going to be a key to the game, that Joe Tryon. And I'm going to call him Joe Tryon. I'm not going to try to force in the Shoyinka because if you noticed on the broadcast when he introduced himself, he called himself Joe Tryon. So I'm going to call him Joe Tryon. I don't care what the back of the jersey says. Finally got a big sack, and boy, did that first sack was it big. He looked like a monster. He shot through there like Devin White, just boom, hit him. It was authoritative. So I was very happy to see that. So I'm not sure. Stephen Glasgow says, and the only time Donovan Smith looked good was when he had help. I'm sorry, Stephen. I believe Donovan Smith. He's playing against a beast. He's playing against a guy that Belichick said was the best player on the Baltimore defense before they signed him this year. And you know the Baltimore defense, okay? He was playing against a beast of a player. And he held his own for the most part. Yes, the guy had flashes. Yes, he had a decent game. But Donovan Smith, look, he had a tough game against a great player. But I'm not that ticked at him. If Donovan Smith was that bad, they would not have had the running game that they had tonight. So I'm sorry, but I'm not going to get on the offensive line's case for what happened. I just don't think the problem was with the offensive line. Brady looked out of sync. Brady looked like his head was not entirely. I don't know. I don't know. The receivers
I'll go out on a limb. The emotions, I think, got the best of him. He didn't look right, and I was that was my big disappointment was that Mac Jones handily outplayed Tom Brady. Mac Jones looked like the veteran quarterback that was calm, cool, and collected. Tom Brady, just like you said, was not in sync. He did not look like Tom Brady.
Yeah, and you just can't do that. I mean, he's made Super Bowls. Now I get it. We're all human. Okay. It is what it is. But he won the game, didn't he? And when they got the ball back with 5.5 minutes left or whatever, did anybody doubt that the Bucs were going to drive down the field and score? Did anybody have any doubts about that? I didn't.
AB normally he makes that catch in the end zone, so that would have given him a touchdown. Then you were forcing the Patriots to have to get a touchdown.
Yeah. Tom Brady is now 21-5 against rookie quarterbacks in his career. His last loss to a rookie quarterback was to Geno Smith. That was an interesting stat, but he's now 21-5 against rookie quarterbacks. Everybody who says that the Bucs struggle against rookie quarterbacks, understand this. Stop for a moment and honestly assess. While you can look at things like, oh, he threw 19 completions in a row, and we can talk about the fact that Mac Jones had a good game, but I want to be clear. Did he really? How many points did they end up with? Did he really have that good of a game? I mean, it's kind of like Jameis, where there's some flash and there's some, all of that, but at the end of the game, you don't win. Come on. Mac Jones, he had a good game, but he didn't have anything. His game was not anything spectacular. Despite Chris Collinsworth and everything he said, he really didn't have that good of a game. Okay. He completed a lot of passes that ultimately didn't matter. When the passes mattered, Brady was throwing completions. When the passes mattered, Mac Jones was not. So everybody needs to understand this team came ready on defense. Okay. I mean, that's about it. Okay. So, they were doing, look, Bill Belichick, props, brother. I can't stand you, but you outcoached Bruce Arians.
On his 69th birthday, no less.
But you lost. By the way, this was the first game ever. But yeah, this was Arians' 69th birthday. This was the first game ever with 2 head coaches over the age of 69, which kind of surprised me. I thought that was an interesting statistic. I did not know. I would have figured that there had been other games, especially back in the day. Let's roll it back though to surprises and disappointments that we were talking about. Okay. Surprises. I said Leonard Fournette, not that it's a surprise. It's not my point, is that I was surprised they had that complete of a game tonight. Disappointments. Well, Dave, who are your surprises?
My surprise I'd mentioned was Richard Sherman, because I didn't expect much from him. He's not in football shape, was recently signed. I don't care what you say. If you haven't been in a training camp and if you haven't been putting pads on, then you're not going to play that well. And he's surprised, and he got picked on early, but he had led the team with 7 solo tackles, and he had a fumble recovery, which was not an easy fumble recovery. It was about to go out of bounds, and he secured it at a critical time in the game. So props to Richard Sherman. My surprise, again, was Fournette. I expected the Bucs to run on a porous and poor New England rushing defense, but Fournette, he ran hard. He just didn't run through holes. I mean, he was going and grinding. He kept his legs moving, and he was getting extra yards. So it didn't surprise me they ran well. It surprised me how hard that Leonard Fournette did. And then my disappointment again, Mac Jones outplayed Tom Brady, and I don't think it was even close. And also J.C. Jackson, he did a great job on Evans. Evans had a couple had some impact on the game, but J.C. Jackson had more. And without Gronk and Evans being covered pretty well, it got to be challenging for the Buck offense. And yeah, I was expecting Tom Brady to come out like Tom Brady in a big game, and
he did when it mattered, though, didn't he?
Well, I mean, they tried 5 field goals. You only got 1 touchdown all night. To me, that's not what you expect out of the Bucs offense, and they're settling for field goals instead of getting touchdowns. Yeah, AB could have had, but he didn't. So I'm like, you're settling for field goals, and against top-level competition, which the Patriots are not, though they are improving, that's not going to work. That's not a recipe for success.
By the way, to everyone in chat who's all of the Mac Jones apologists trying to convince us that Mac Jones is great, guys, we're admitting that Mac Jones outplayed Brady tonight, okay? But not when it mattered. All right. Now, you guys can argue all day long. You guys can tell me I'm wrong all day long, and I'm sure you will. But the thing is, Mac Jones completed a lot of passes that didn't matter. And Tom Brady completed the passes that did. That pretty much covers it. Okay. I don't know where you guys are thinking I'm wrong by saying what you're saying. I mean, you did mention Mac Jones got hammered by our defense all night long. Yes, he did. And he still completed 19 passes in a row. I don't know how many total, but the point of the matter is they lost the game and they only scored how many points? So everybody relax on the Mac Jones love fest and understand there's ultimate productivity. You're saying he looked really good for a rookie. Okay.
Well, last week they only put up 13 on New Orleans at home, and he had 3 interceptions. And they only put 16 up on Miami, which isn't a great defense. And they did put 25 up on New York and won. So while they're improving, they still haven't shown it on the field, like you said, when it mattered. Though they played well tonight and they're improving. I think how those free agents are starting to come together with game action, and that I wouldn't be surprised if New England is being a 500 team when all is said and done. But they got a ways to go. But Jones, he had his moments tonight. I mean, the Bucs doing 19 straight completions on the Bucs defense. There's something to be said for that. He showed some poise, and he was getting banged around, and he still kept coming back for more. So he deserves props for that.
Yeah, agreed with everything you just said. That's, I guess, where people kind of, I'm going to say, here's where people kind of make mistakes, and they think you have to go all the way one way or all the way the other way. No, you don't. No, you don't. You don't have to go crazy with that all the way one way, where it's like Mac Jones is phenomenal because he did this. No, Mac Jones did some things well, but ultimately,
and we have been critical of the Bucs.
Like a rookie.
We've been critical of the Bucs coaching, and I think it's warranted. But I will say Todd Bowles dialed up the heat, and he made the right calls coming down the stretch on that final drive.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree completely. I just think that everybody needs to understand being critical doesn't mean you don't like the team. Being critical doesn't mean you're being unrealistic. You can sit there and look at it and say, hey, wow, this guy completed 19 passes in a row. He got the crap beat out of him, and he still stood in the pocket and handled it well, but he ended up playing like a rookie. Where am I wrong on that? When it came down to it, where am I wrong on that? I get it. You're trying to tell me that that no way that he played like a rookie. He played like a champ. Did he? Ultimately, they scored how many points? I don't know. Look, last week, you want to say that about Matthew Stafford? Okay. But I'm not going to turn into some sort of a Mac Jones apologist because he completed a bunch of passes in a row. I'm just not going to do it. And I'm not going to sit here and say, okay, all is great. You know, there's joy in Mudville. Yes, there is. We won the game. We're 3-1. Hallelujah. I'm happy about that. But I am pissed that this offense does not look right. You should not have all of these players. You shouldn't be walking out on the field with Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Antonio Brown, Leonard Fournette, Tom Brady, and struggle offensively consistently. So, and by the way, Stephen Glasker, who's saying if Jones played like a rookie, Andy played better than Brady, what did Brady play like? Brady did not have a good game, Stephen. Brady did not have a good game. All right. And if he played like a rookie, I said he played like a rookie when it mattered. I think I was pretty clear about that. He played like a rookie when it mattered. In the important moments, the big moments, that's when he didn't really shine. And that's when Brady did. The team is walking away tonight with a win. Ultimately, I'm happy about that. I am happy about that. And I said, look, if you're a Bucs fan and you're being realistic and you're going, we're 3-1, we're tied for the division lead, that's all great. That's great. I'm happy about that fact. But looking long term, this offense better get it together. Please tell me where I'm wrong on that. Please. I know it's like, oh my gosh, he's criticizing the Bucs. It's okay. It's okay. I'm trying to be realistic. We won. I'm happy about that. But guys, there's a problem. Let's get to disappointments. Disappointments? Brady was off tonight. I was disappointed in Brady. You guys know how much I love him. He was off. All right. Was it because of Belichick? Maybe. And what they were doing? Could be. Belichick's a great coach. That's proven. All right. Was it because Brady? Was it because of emotion? Maybe. Maybe.
I mean, and
Johnny Dean just said Miller, I think referring to Scotty Miller, is on IR. If that's what the problem was, Scotty Miller being out, wow. If your number 4 receiver getting injured is the problem, that's not good. But I don't know. I like what Stephen Glasker says here. Stephen, I'm going to bring this comment up on screen. Stephen says, you're not wrong about your overall assessment, Rick. The win was great for us, but it was like kissing your sister. That's exactly correct. It was almost like a tie, wasn't it? It just, guys, we got to do better. We have to do better. And Richard Sherman, props to you, my friend. You showed up. You showed up. Disappointments, Dave. Who you disappointed in?
I was disappointed in Tom Brady and Chris Godwin. He had 3 receptions for 55 yards, but he didn't feel like he was an impact player tonight.
Was that because of him? I mean, he didn't get targeted.
He got targeted 5 times,
Yeah.
but that was probably just more of a feeling on my part. Cameron Brate, he was targeted 6 times, but he had 2 receptions for 29. He had the big catch down to the 5, but OJ Howard was only targeted once. The tight ends weren't used effectively. You could say it's Gronk, but look, these guys have played before. And aside from Brate's catch at the 5, I didn't feel like the tight ends were having an impact on the game. Now, that's a combination if you're not throwing to them, but they did have 7 targets, but they were, except for Brate's catch, were relatively ineffective. And when you're running long routes with Antonio Brown and Mike Evans, and Godwin, you would expect there to be seams underneath that you can find the tight ends in it, and it wasn't happening.
By the way, guys, I just moved into some new studios tonight or today. Well, I moved this week. This is our first time in the new studio. So there's a new phone number just for tonight. Call 770-633-0001 if you want to talk about this. So again, it is 770-633-0001. I can imagine, I've got a guess about a couple people who are going to call tonight. I don't know if Jacob Charnow is up to call and tell us how great the Jets are and how they're going to do well. And no sooner do I say it than as expected. As expected. How you doing, Billy? Billy Hey, how are you, my friend?
A little depressed today. Some jackass at work told me to take Lamar Jackson over Darnell, and that cost me my fantasy game. So I'm not real pleased with that. However, still looking forward to the November 22nd assassination, as my Giants have helped you out beating the Saints.
Thank you, by the way. Thank you.
Yeah.
For that.
Whatever.
Like you had a part in it or something.
Hey, change the subject. You probably follow the NFL better than I do across the league itself. But in your opinion, do you see a lot more this year? Do you see a lot more knee injuries than normal?
Honestly, I have not seen more knee injuries, but I've seen a lot of injuries, period. I'm a Bucs fan,
Right.
First of all, so it's not a fair question to me because half the Bucs defense is out. They're on like they're literally signing people off the streets and then they're starting and leading the team in tackles tonight, by the way.
Yeah, you guys are getting pretty senior citizen with all these acquisitions that you're making, but whatever.
Well, that's where senior citizens go, Billy. They usually leave New York and go where?
Hang on, senior citizens go to Florida,
Right,
so I guess it's accurate.
That's what I'm saying.
So, and speaking of knee injuries, Saquon had a great game today, knee injury and all from last year, so great game there. I think you guys had some crappy calls against you in the fourth quarter there. That last drive didn't matter because you squeaked out a win against a crappy team. But I am a little surprised, like with the NFL, the way that they happened to just pick out your opponents for this year. It just has so happened that you're going to be playing the East, and so happened to go against New England when it's not in bad weather. So the whole game tonight was a bunch of crap. That was all set up by the NFL.
Hold on. That's decided years in advance what division you're going to play. That's not something.
Hang on. So was it decided that that a Florida team would be in New England the first week of October instead of the last week of December?
When the scheduling. Yeah. Okay. Yes. I don't disagree with that. I think they purposely. I think they said, "Listen, here's when Brady is probably going to break the record, and let's try to make it in the New England game." I do think that happened. Yeah.
Okay. Well, and again, there was definitely favoritism that went in there because one of the biggest weapons that New England could have is weather. And you guys got to escape that because everyone wants to see, Tom Brady, let's put him against his old coach.
Wait a minute.
Whatever.
What was the weather tonight? Hold on.
It was raining. Come on. Hang on. Just like you said about years in advance, you can't predict the weather 2 weeks in advance. So it was raining, but we're talking about the fact of snow and cold and ice and all that crap that can happen in New England.
Like the Super Bowl in New York?
I'm sorry?
You mean like when they had the Super Bowl in New York and it was great weather? No, you can't predict it. You're correct. So stop.
Wait, hang on. You agreed with me. The fact that they favored this game because of the record, and you're telling me that it was not more beneficial for the game to be played in October.
Of course it was.
3rd versus December 25th.
Of course it was.
Of course,
but that's not why.
And that favors the NFL because the NFL wants Brady to win.
Well, no, they did it because they wanted the Bucs to they wanted everybody watching. They wanted the spectacle. They wanted all of that when he broke the record. And by the way, I bet you the ratings on this game are massive.
You're proving my point. It was all about the ratings. And you guys, come on, seriously. To a lousy team, a dink off of the goalpost, seriously, you need to be embarrassed with this victory.
Yeah, well, I don't disagree with you. I've been saying all night I'm pissed. So that the offense looked terrible and there's no reason for it. So I don't disagree.
It was not a well-officiated game, but you guys really did not play well.
No, Billy, the New York Giants jackass. I agree with you.
Nice. I like that.
Thank you. I agree.
Why don't you just call me the Jackass Giant fan from now on?
Okay, you got it. Billy, the Jackass Giants fan.
Next week, brother. Bye.
Yeah. See you later.
I'm very disappointed in Billy. Very disappointed.
Why are you disappointed?
Because Daniel Jones
throwing every week.
Daniel Jones threw for 402 yards, and he wasn't thumping his Daniel Jones chest. He threw for over 4. When's the last time a New York Giant quarterback passed for 400 yards and all he said was, "Yeah, Barkley had a good day," and then he just rambles on? You got to point those things out. Daniel Jones may never again throw for 402 yards. So he should be pointing that out.
Yeah, no,
But no,
you're right.
No, he complains about the weather.
Yep.
So
by the way, anybody, seriously, please call 770-633-0001 if you want to talk about the game. 770-633-0001. I'll tell you guys, speaking of injuries, I think these guys are all wimps. It looks like I have torn my meniscus. I had a rough week. Looks like I tore my meniscus in my left leg, and I'm still here playing. I'm not on IR. and I had to deal with Billy, the what was it? The jackass Giants fan.
Close enough.
So this is full contact. Oh, hold on, we got another call coming in. How you doing? It's Steven Glasker. How are you, brother?
Hey, Mr. Rick, how you guys doing? What's going on, Dave?
Hey, Steven, how's things?
I'm great, guys. Hey, Rick, last thing I heard before I went to the call was your meniscus. I hope you feel better soon, bro.
Yeah, you and me both. It was this was
a non-contact injury.
Yeah, this was not a fun couple of days.
Yeah. I want to say a couple things. First of all, thank you and David for at least, because I was actually a little disappointed in the defense earlier on, but I think I was looking at it from the prism that we should be better. But considering all the people we brought off the street and the homeless guy in shelter, we played pretty well overall. You guys are right. As far as the offense, unbelievably disappointed, and not just Brady, because he severely overthrew some guys.
Yep.
I don't think it was just him overthrowing guys. I think there were guys he expected to be in certain spots that were not in those spots.
Yeah.
So it looked like he was overthrowing them. He was throwing two positions, and the receivers just weren't there. And Mike Evans did that a couple of times. I noticed. Cameron Braid, I noticed on one of his throws, he did that. So some of it looked bad, but I think just guys weren't. Like you said, the communication with the offense is off. I have no idea why it's all the same people. I'm baffled by why it's still off.
Right.
I think he forced some throws because Gronk wasn't a fallback guy tonight that you could trust.
Yeah, I think we're seeing the importance of Gronk.
I agree with that, David. Completely. I think Gronk not being there is what. And you said Brady was off. I think that's why he was off.
Yeah,
he was missing his safety blanket.
Yep.
His security blanket. I agree with that. There is one thing I really would discuss with you guys to get your opinions on.
Yep.
And I was discussing this in chat with Teresa and Matt as well. That last drive, those last two deep ball passes were the dumbest. I don't know if it was play calling or Brady made a decision on the line. Dumb. I could see after the first time, hey, I'm going to take a shot.
You're giving them extra timeouts.
Yes, and not just that. My thought was, I was sitting there watching with a girlfriend, and I'm like, all they need is a first down.
Mm-hmm.
Why not just go for the first down and then run the ball? You run the clock out and then kick a field goal if you don't make it then.
Well, maybe that's no risk, get no biscuit. That's Arian's motto, and maybe that's what we were seeing. But there's also no risk it. When you do risk it, you might get screwed. So
I think Todd Bowles putting the heat on Jones saved the day. If Brown catches that last pass in the end zone, we're singing their praises. But you are right.
A beautiful pass.
But you're right, Stephen. I mean, we were giving them timeouts is what we were doing. We're throwing the ball deep.
Which is why the decision making in that series made no sense. I can see the first time going for it and he overshot Brown. Okay, great.
Yeah.
Now it's 3rd and 8 now.
Yeah.
Let's just get the first down.
Yep.
And then let's run the ball so that we can kick if we have to with like 2 seconds left on the clock.
Yeah.
I just didn't understand the play call. It made zero sense.
Yeah, I agree with you. The clock management at the end of the game was one of the things I wanted to talk about. And I think you're right, Stephen, is I don't know who was making the decisions. I'm going to guess that Brady has a few options and he looks at what the defense has out there and he makes a decision.
I think they liked the matchup they had with AB, but not in that situation. You can't do that. You're literally giving them 2 timeouts.
He threw it perfectly, but it's still such a high risk for just the reason we saw. And Johnny Dane brought up brought up, where the heck is, Johnny Dean brought up OJ Howard. Yeah.
Hey, he had one target tonight.
You just have to ask more of that guy. And if he's not up to the challenge, I don't know.
I think he should be on the trading block before the trading deadline. Both he and Rojo make it a package deal and get some good corners or something. I don't now. I will give him this. He blocked Judon better than Donovan Smith did. I saw him on the left side playing the role with LT a couple of times, and he did a better job than Donovan Smith did. I hear what you're saying about Donovan Smith. We'll just agree to disagree. I don't give a crap how good Judon is. Donovan Smith is making starter good money to block people like that.
Yeah.
So I don't want to hear no excuses.
Yeah. I mean, I'm the excuse is not that. The excuse is, and I got to go. I got another call come. Actually, let me take the other call, Stephen, and I'll address that in a second. Okay.
All right. Thanks, Rick. You guys doing a great job.
Thanks.
Thanks for calling as always, Stephen.
All right, Mr. Williams, how are you tonight?
What's going on, man?
Hey, we got to win.
Mr. Williams.
Hey,
so good for you to join us.
It was okay, but I wasn't impressed. Okay, it was all right, but I wasn't impressed.
That's fair. That's very fair, Mr. Williams. I think that's absolutely fair.
For one, man, I got too much talent on that team. Okay, I understand I got a lot of injuries, Lord knows. And my rookie, he played a hell of a game tonight. I take my hat off to him.
Yeah, Joe Tryon had a good game.
Yes, he had a hell of a game tonight.
Yes, sir.
There, you are building your speed up. You know, you trying to work with the rookie. Okay. My defensive coordinator, hey, I love what you're doing, but bro, you got a 5-time Pro Bowl over there. Nigga, let's bring him up closer to the receivers. Come on, man. Like for real.
Yeah.
Don't leave these corners 3 hours off these receivers, man. And that's what's killing me.
Well, do you think they're doing that because of the injuries and because they're just praying to God that the defensive line gets to that quarterback?
Yes, right, kid. I'm saying, yeah, I really do think that's what we're doing due to my injuries. You know, hey, don't get me wrong. I want, if not, well, after my bye week, I need Jason Pierre-Paul to get back healthy.
Yeah.
I need him.
Yeah.
Shaq Barrett need him. Shaq Barrett need him bad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know, because my front, they're good. They're good. My front is good. My boys behind that front, you know, 58 and 90 had a high and low thing going on, man. Come on, Todd Bowles, man. Come on, man. No matter what we got to do, if we can't get him back Sunday against the Dolphins, let's see what's his status in after the bye week.
Yeah.
You know, come on, man. We need these guys ready to play, man.
Yeah, I got to agree with you.
Because right now, okay, people we needed to lose lost today. Understand me? They lost today. Everybody lost today.
Yeah.
Okay? You're tied for first place. Well, actually, yeah, you are tied for first place. Well, not actually tied. Yeah. You in really like second place right now.
Right.
In the South. No, actually, you tied for first with the Carolina Panthers. And we ain't seen that in God knows how long.
Right.
But all right, like I say, we need to let's get my pass rushers. We got to get these guys ready, man, after the bye week.
Yeah. Well,
You
I mean,
know?
they the pass rushers, they were hitting Mac Jones. They're
Yeah,
just
yeah.
not quite getting there in
They
time.
was. They was. And then one thing I can't take my hat off to Todd Bowles about, he seen when he got screwed up against the Rams. And he didn't do it tonight.
Right.
You put your strong guys on the sideline talking about a breather. No. we go let them play 60 minutes of football. You get a breather after the first quarter and after the second quarter. And you get your next breather at halftime.
You all right, Mr. Williams?
Yeah. You know, I have a trach. I got a permanent trach in my neck.
Well, hopefully you're doing okay there, brother.
Yeah, man. Yeah, but no, like I say, this year, we are running at our destiny right now. This is it. This is it.
Yeah.
Everything that I play now is a must win.
Yeah. Agreed.
Is a must win.
Yep.
Because our destiny rides on us as of right now. As of right now, our destiny is in our hands.
Yeah.
Because
we're tied for first. You're correct.
You know as well as I do. Nobody don't want to see that red come back again.
Yeah.
In the Super Bowl. Nobody don't want to see me come back again. Lord knows, nobody don't want to see them come back again.
Yeah, you're correct.
And I'm going to tell you, if I win 10, I'm going back again. I'm just saying, if I win 10 games, I'm going back again.
Yeah. Well, they're a third of the way there, a quarter of the way through the season.
Yeah, and I'm gonna tell you, Devin White and Levante Davis, they are a hell of a combination.
Yeah, they are.
They are. You know, I understand you gave Levante Davis a 2-year thing. You gave Shaq Barrett 4 years, okay? I understand that too. Shaq Barrett, Lord knows he deserves it. Because he played behind Von Miller so many years in Denver. He deserved to have a spotlight of his own.
Yep.
And, you know, and Levante Davis and Devin White, I ain't seen another middle linebacker and right side linebacker combination yet out of 32 teams that can talk them two together.
No, I don't even think it's close.
And, you know, and like I say, Devin White, he is a Derrick Brooks 3.0.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you're right.
He is. And right, like I say, Devin is gonna be around a long time.
Yep.
And you know, it took Levante 9 years to get his first Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And right now, he don't want to go nowhere.
We'll see.
We're not gonna let him go nowhere.
You know what? We'll see. We don't even need to worry about that right now. Not at this point.
But right now, our destiny lies in our hand, bro.
That's right.
It lies in our hand, and right now, you know, like I say, the game was all right, but it shouldn't have been that damn close.
You are correct.
Agreed.
Correct. That's well put. Thank you for calling, Mr. Williams.
All right, man. Hey, man, number love, man. I love y'all boys. Once again, go Bucs.
Go Bucs.
We're at Miami next Sunday, 1 o'clock. Hey, I never eat dolphin soup, but we're going to see what it tastes like.
You got it. Have a good one.
All right, man. I love y'all, man. Y'all have a good night, man.
You too.
You
All
too,
right.
Mr. Williams. Thanks for the call.
Mr. Williams. Always coming on. It's like he's preaching. Hey, I want to bring up something. What is with, well, hold on. I would bring up something, but hold on. We got Matt from Oklahoma City. How you doing, Matt?
I'm doing pretty good. I almost choked right now as soon as you answered the phone.
Yeah.
Here we go. I got it now. Hang on. Okay, wait. All right. I finally got myself together. I was just calling to agree with you on the offense issues this week.
Yeah.
It was not good.
No.
It reminded me of Brady being I think he was, the moment got to him at the beginning of the game.
That's what I think happened.
People.
Yep.
But we never woke up, and I don't think that's a good sign. So that's I'll have to call you back.
Okay. Yeah, I agree with Matt on that though. I think they just were, the team looked out of sync and they shouldn't be out of sync. Look, this is what I was about to bring up before Matt called, is what is with all of a sudden the camera not leaving Bill Belichick's son? It's like, hey, here's the son of the important man. Let's watch him all night instead of the actual coach. This dude is a linebackers coach that makes funny faces. So they spent, I don't know how much camera time they put this guy on camera, sticking his tongue out, making these faces, doing all this weird stuff. I'm like, why are you showing the linebacker coach? I didn't know this wasn't, the storyline wasn't when they said Brady Belichick. That's not the one. That's not the one they were talking about. So all night, I spent how much time looking at the guy that was the storyline's kid, not the guy. It was weird. It was weird.
Well, you don't get much out of Bill Belichick. It's pretty standard.
No, but why are you showing the linebackers coach? I mean, it was just weird. It was unnecessary. It really was strange. And I mean, look, here's my problem with the way things were handled. I believe that the Bucs chewed up the clock like they were afraid of the Patriots. This is the game plan they should have run last week. They got it wrong. They did it backwards. This is the game plan they should have been running last week. Not this week. Last week's game plan this week would have worked a little better. But they chewed up the clock like they were afraid of the Patriots. Now, I get it because of the weather, but don't tell me that's the only reason why. This team shouldn't be chewing up the clock like they're afraid and just trying to keep it close at the end for their quarterback. This team should be dominating. There is no excuse for this offense not dominating. Having said that, I'm happy, guys. I am happy we won. I really genuinely am happy that we won. I hope you guys are happy that we won. We won. We won. We're 3-1. One of my disappointments that I want to talk about is Bradley Pinion. What's going on with our punter? I mean, this is 2 games in a row. He hasn't just played kind of poorly. He's played really poorly, like problem poorly. That's an issue. That really is an issue. I mean, the Buccaneers have been basically they've had an ineffective blitz all year. Let me be clear, because they kept getting to the quarterback today, but they kept getting to him a little too late. Now, is it a product of Mac Jones getting rid of the ball quickly? Somewhat. But I believe this team right now really misses JPP. I believe that guy is a leader on this defense. I'm happy with the defense tonight, guys. I'm thrilled with the defense tonight. During the game, Dave and I had a conversation where, understandably, at the moment, Dave kind of took a shot at the defense. And I was like, dude, hold on. How many points have they scored? At that point, 7. And I was like, wait a minute. This defense This defense has played a good game. But at times it was weird. It was like all of a sudden at times, boom, they couldn't do anything. They couldn't stop anything. They couldn't whatever. It came all like it was strange. I don't know if it's if it moves
it was
and counter
after
moves.
it was after the Bucs lone touchdown. They were like a hot knife through butter. The defense put up no resistance, and the New England answered right back and took the lead.
Yeah. Okay, player of the game. Who do you call the player of the game?
My player of the game?
Yeah.
Leonard Fournette.
Yeah.
If you don't have a running game tonight, you do not win. And it wasn't like I indicated earlier on my surprises. It wasn't that they ran well because the New England has a poor run defense. It was how hard he was running. Those legs were churning.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought I was watching Leonard Fournette back at LSU. I mean, he was motivated. It was a bounce back game for him.
He showed up,
and he was determined.
Yeah. He showed up tonight ready to win and ready to play, a lot more so than some of the other players. Some of the other players, and this makes no sense, guys, and I know what I'm about to say makes no sense. You don't have to tell me. I get it. This team played in a Super Bowl, but they played on offense like the moment was too big for them. That's bizarre. That's just bizarre. I mean, it's just a very, very strange. It is. This offense should be better.
I went back and looked at last season and their 10-game winning streak, and the wins at the end of last year. Out of those 10 in that 10-game winning streak, they beat the Falcons 3 times and had to come from behind 17-0 at half. And the only team besides the Chiefs they quote unquote blew out was the Lions. They've not exactly been world beaters. They've hung into games and they get you in the end, and they come back and make adjustments and win in the second half. That's what they've done. They haven't been a team that's been a blowout kind of team.
Okay. Stephen Glasgow is saying Jeff Howe from The Athletic is reporting that Bill Belichick walked into the Bucs locker room while Brady was still in there. So I guess he went over to say hello. I heard Bill Belichick, they were talking on the broadcast tonight, how Belichick actually was pretty annoyed by the comments or the idea out there that there's animosity between him and Brady. I'm sure Belichick doesn't want that out there. Let me say this. Whether Bill Belichick denies it and Tom Brady denies it, there was obviously, I don't know if it was an ego issue or I don't know what the deal was, but Bill Belichick, now this is it. It's not just that Bill Belichick let Tom Brady go. I want everybody to follow me on what I'm about to say here, because I think this is a key that got lost. I've never talked about this, and I've actually never heard anybody else bring this up. And I think this is a very critical point. Bill Belichick let Tom Brady go with no viable alternative at the time. Cam Newton was not waiting in the wings. Bill Belichick let Tom Brady go, and he had no other real quarterback. I mean, I guess unless they were what I can't even remember his name now. Jared Stidham. If was that the guy that he was confident in?
Well, I think the narrative that Bill Belichick has a system and you can plug a quarterback in, that's completely false. I mean, you see the record. Belichick's got a losing record if Tom Brady's not his quarterback.
Yeah.
But you're correct, and I think some of it was they had salary cap issues, and I think Belichick kind of knew that it was going to be bad for a while. Yeah. And they were fortunate to get Mac Jones where they did in the draft.
Yeah. By the way, everybody, like Johnny Dean, who's been predicting that every week that the Bucs are going to score 50. Johnny, I think next week you're probably correct. okay, against the Dolphins. I think you're going to see an offensive explosion. I think you're going to see a pissed off Tom Brady because I think he's going to read all the press, or he's going to hear enough about it this week about how, he didn't look that great in the, blah, blah, blah. This was a great game. As a football fan, this was a great game. Now I want to say this to everybody. Guys, I love defensive football. Okay? Love defensive football. I miss the days when there was defensive football. I miss those days. Absolutely loved those games. That doesn't change the fact that this offense, this ridiculously stacked, loaded offense, should be playing better. Now, there will be benefits to reap next week because the Dolphins, now what are you going to do? Now who are you going to cover? Because now you got Leonard Fournette, who had a good game. So I don't know. I find it unusual. The Dolphins look bad today. I think they may be just what the doctor ordered for the Bucs. I really do. I think a game like this, playing a team like this may be just what the Bucs need. No hype. It's not going to be a big hyped game. As a matter of fact, nobody's going to really care. It's a whatever kind of a game.
Well,
They've
the
been on the road
Dolphins
2 weeks in a row. They won one, they lost one. They lost to a really good team who, by the way, got their ass handed to them today by the Arizona Cardinals. The Arizona Cardinals are for real.
I guess they're the Super Bowl favorite until they're not.
Well, I mean,
They're the only
here's the thing,
undefeated team.
After this week, there may be only 2 undefeated teams. We know there's one. There may
Right.
only be 2. It depends on the Raiders tomorrow.
At the Chargers.
Yeah. So there may only be 1 undefeated team this early in the year. Now, on a positive note, thank God we're not hearing about the Bucs going undefeated anymore. I mean, I'm a little bit glad that's over with already. Would have sucked if it went 7, 8, 9 weeks in, and everybody would have been freaking out and telling us, "Oh no!" So, I mean, we'll see what's going to happen. But
Well, the Dolphins' only win was against New England, and that was because Damian Harris fumbled on the 9, or the Patriots had an easy field goal for the win.
Yep. Okay. So your player of the game and mine are Leonard Fournette. I think that's pretty obvious. Everybody in chat, put down who your player of the game is. I think it's going to be obvious that's going to be Leonard Fournette, but I'd like to see just to be sure that that's what you guys are thinking. But yeah, I believe that's the case. Interesting though, if you took Leonard Fournette out of the equation, who's your player of the game?
Well, if Suckup doesn't miss that one, if he's 5 for 5, then I'd have to say Ryan Suckup because he's the only offense as far as points goes.
You know who I might make player of the game? I might consider making Richard Sherman player of the game. I mean, that escalated quickly. It started with, I don't think he's going to play much, to, he's probably not going to play because he's just not in football shape. I don't know if he's ready to. Oh, well, yeah, he's going to get in the game. He's going to go and travel with us and get in the game. And then this morning or yesterday, he's been named starter. What?
Our starting right cornerback is Richard Sherman.
Yeah. I mean, you got to give him almost an honorable mention in that whole thing. That guy deserves definitely being mentioned in the surprises. He really does. I mean, he deserves every bit of that. But Ryan Suckup had a great game. There's no doubt. Ryan Suckup, props to you. Although, I don't know if you saw, you could read his lips clearly. They zoomed in on his face when he missed the field goal, and he looked directly at the snapper, the holder, the snapper, not the long snapper, the holder. He looked directly at the holder and goes, what am I doing? And you can just clearly read his lips. It was pretty funny. But yeah, what are you going to do? You know, one thing that we like to do here, and honestly, it gives me a second to take a breather, and I like what Dave does with this. Dave's Twitter and Facebook handle is David W. Says. And what I like doing every week during the post-game show is basically stepping out of the way, letting Dave tell us what David W. says. And Dave, let's hear it.
Well, the topic for the week is how hard is it to get back to the Super Bowl? I took some time out and I delved into Super Bowl results. And here's what I found. Obviously, there have been 55 Super Bowls. There have been 8 repeat champions. You had Green Bay Super Bowls 1 and 2, Miami in Super Bowl 7 and 8, the Steelers Super Bowl 9 and 10, as well as 13 and 14 when they had that amazing run of 4 Super Bowl wins in 6 seasons. And they are the only franchise to be a back-to-back Super Bowl winner twice. San Francisco 23 and 24, Dallas 27-28, Denver 32 and 33, and New England 38 and 39. It has been a while since there's been a back-to-back. That's 8 out of 55 times for 14.5% of teams that have repeated. Now, work with me here. If you lose a Super Bowl, then win the following year has only happened 3 times. Dallas lost Super Bowl 5, then won 6. Miami, ironically, lost Super Bowl 6 and won 7. And New England lost Super Bowl 52, came back and won 53. So that's 3 out of 55 or 5.5%. Now, I throw in the teams that have lost back-to-back Super Bowls. It's 3 franchises. Minnesota, Super Bowl 8 and 9, Denver 21 and 22, and Buffalo lost 4 in a row, 25 through 28. So that's 5 out of 55 or 9.1%. Now, if you win the Super Bowl and lose the following year, there's Dallas with Super Bowl 13, Washington with 18, Green Bay with 32, Seattle with 49, New England with 52, and Kansas City with 55 or 6 out of 55. So when you add it all up, if you play in a Super Bowl and get back to the next one, it's 22 out of 110, 20% or 1 in 5. So it only happens 1 in 5 times. So why is the Super Bowl so difficult to get back to? First of all, you're a target. Since the playground in grade school, it's human nature to take out the guy on the top of the mountain, so to speak. Everybody wants a piece of the champ. You are every team's focus, and a win makes their year. Also, there's the NFL's desire for parity. They go out of their way to keep things even. You draft last and get a harder schedule, usually for winning their division. Now, the Bucs have an advantage that they didn't win their division last year, so theoretically they get a bit of a scheduling break. Also, you play more football in a Super Bowl year. Last season, if you did not make the playoffs, you said your goodbyes on January 3rd. The Super Bowl was played on February 7th. That's more than a month. Takes an emotional and physical toll. More football can lead to more injuries, some of what I think we're seeing now. The Bucs were virtually seriously injury-free in 2020, not so much in the secondary and specifically at the cornerback position this year. The 2020 Super Bowl victims, the Chiefs, are 1 and 2, well, now 2 and 2, and looking like they have lost a step. Also, satisfaction. It's human nature to relax a bit after reaching a milestone achievement. Football is a mentally, emotionally, and physically demanding sport. All it takes is letting off the gas just a bit to be passed by that hungrier team. The Bucs have a team with impeccable veteran leadership and the bulk of the team just getting their first taste of winning on the big stage. Still, getting back to Super Bowl 56 is a tough hill to climb. David W. says, getting back to the Super Bowl is quite the challenge. Buck Nation, get behind your Bucs like never before to get them back to the Super Bowl and to be the 8th franchise in NFL history to win back-to-back championships. Let's add to the mystique that has become Tampa Bay.
Awesome. Awesome. Bravo. Well done.
And I'll add the Tampa Bay Rays continue with the mystique. They won their 100th game yesterday and have the best regular season record in the American League headed into the playoffs.
101 today. I believe they beat Boston today.
I thought they lost today, but I'll have to double
did they?
check. I know they won. They were playing the Yankees, and I think they lost 1-0 today, but if someone can confirm that. But they
Yeah.
won 100. They never did that before.
Yep,
So the mystique continues.
that's right. It's good to be a Tampa Bay fan right now, for sure. Guys, what do you guys think? Feel free to call. What is ailing this offense? That's what I want to know. What is ailing this offense? I get it if I was asking you the question, what's ailing the defense? Well, ailing is what's ailing the defense, and I get it. They miss JPP, etc. What's ailing the offense? But having said that, guys, I've been pretty hard on the team tonight. I really have, and I don't mean to be that aggressively hard on the team because they won. They won. Hallelujah. The good guys won tonight. Okay. Let's all be happy about that. And it really was a good night. It was great football. Like I said, I like defensive football. It was awesome. And our guys won. And for years, guys, we've all watched it happen where they found ways to lose games like today. That's what's new. That's the difference, guys. I mean, this is not breaking news. We are good. Even when we have a bad week or two, we're still going to win most of those games. And that's a change, guys. That's different. That's the exciting part of all of this is, holy cow, man. That's how we're 3-1. We're 3-1. We say a quarter of the way through the season. Fine. Then there's one game overtime. But yeah, we're a quarter of the way through the season. We're 3-1. We're tied for the division lead. And right now, guys, truth of the matter is we've made it through the tougher part of our schedule. We've got a run that's gonna things are gonna start to look better. I really believe things will start to look better. This team will start to click. Like Andy Sear says in the chat, he says, so many bad years, we're 3-1. That's exactly correct, Andy. I agree completely. And by the way, thank you for joining us, Andy. You're a Buccaneer fan from, oh Lord, I can't pronounce that. From Idaho. I can't read whatever that city is. I'm not French, and there aren't a whole lot of French Idahoans, I don't believe, but that's a very French named city. Anyway, guys, we have had a great night. We really have. I'm actually going to look at this and say, guys, let's call it a night. There's so much that we've covered. And Tuesday night, guys, I'm going to be back on Buck AF. Tuesday night at 8:30, we have Buck AF. If you, as a Bucs fan, if you are Buck as, well, you know what the F stands for, then join us on Bucs Report. It's been a fun night, guys. It has been a fun night. I really appreciate all you guys in chat. Andy, thank you. Johnny, thanks for bringing the comments all night. Buccaneer Bree, thank you. I appreciate it. Carl Hardy, Tim Witherspoon, all of you guys. Ciro, so many of you guys. I'm not going to mention all of you. Stephen Glasker, the callers in. Mr. Williams, thank you for calling in. And Billy the Jackass Giants fan, thank you for calling in regularly, all the time. I want to thank you guys. Matt Colson, thank you for calling in. Great night. Thank you all for being here. Dave, you got any final words?
Well, you get out with the win. You're 3-1. You're top of the division. I find it interesting that you don't play the Panthers until 2 out of the last 3 weeks of the season. If they continue on their winning ways, it'll be an interesting finish. You move on to Miami, and let's get that offense on track.
Yeah, I believe that the Panthers are starting to struggle with some injuries as well. I think they not only lost today, but I think they lost some folks. But I guess, yeah, to close it out tonight, I want to say this. Guys, I've been rough on the team. I have been. I've been a little pissed off tonight, and I get that. But I am happy. And overall, I'm happy. We won. We won. And, it's going to be okay. We're likely going to be 4-1 after next week. Not going to count my chickens. But things look good. Things look good. Even though the team struggled and had a difficult game that probably shouldn't have been so tough, they won. So it's all good when it comes to that. I enjoy doing this post-game show, guys, big time. I really do. I enjoy this. This is a lot of fun. And Dave couldn't pick a better person to be doing it with. I'm very, very happy that you are here. You've been a Bucs fan with me from day one of this franchise. And you know what? When you're pissed off because the team didn't look quite as good and you're 3-1, that's a brand new freaking experience for us. So
it's still a good day.
Absolutely. It's a great day. So guys, from my brand new studio that I've just moved to, still in Charlotte, but brand new studio here. We got everything working, and it's deluxe. It's magnificent, opulent studios that we have here. Guys, it's a good year. It's a good year to be a Bucs fan. It is a good year to be a Bucs fan. When these are the things we can complain about. So thanks for being here, all of you guys. You're all awesome. You are all awesome. The way to end it, the way I end every show, and I mean it from my heart, absolutely. Go Bucs.